Hi there, Internet. My name's Court, and this week in I'm sorry, what? The Wrap is reporting that Michael Keaton himself is in talks with Warner Brothers to reprise his role as Batman in the upcoming Flash movie. And while there are genuine questions as to whether or not it will actually happen, my initial response to reading this story looked quite a bit like this. And as someone who has a healthy appreciation for Batman, I say let's talk about it.
Come on, let's get nuts.
First, a little backstory. As many of you know, after Adam West, but before Val Kilmer, George Clooney, and long before Christian Bale and Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, for those of my generation, was Batman.
I'm Batman.
You sure are. Keaton played the Caped Crusader in Tim Burton's Batman in 1989, which oddly celebrates its 31st anniversary today, and in 1992's sequel Batman Returns. Both films were enormous blockbusters, and the first really big superhero movies after Richard Donner's Superman movies, or at least that franchise that began in 1978. And they also proved that, unlike Superman, comic book movies could be dark and moody and still bring people in droves. That said, much like we saw with the casting of Heath Ledger, Jared Leto, Ben Affleck, people freaked out when Michael Keaton was cast. He was only 5'9", generally known mostly as a comedic actor, for movies like Mr. Mom. But holy hell, he was so good. Well now, as we all know, the DCEU has been in flux for quite some time. DC did seem to rush to ape the Marvel model and make the Justice League movie, a movie which by most accounts was a critical and financial failure. Now, there were indeed a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that went on with that I'm sure a lot of you are aware of, but still. But the DCEU chugged along. Aquaman was pretty well liked, it made $1 billion. Shazam was very well liked, didn't make a boatload of money. They've got Wonder Woman 1984 coming, and of course DC had Joker and the upcoming The Batman, although both of those films exist outside the purview of the DCEU. Now, I don't want to be a wet blanket here, but before I get into the report itself, I think it's important that we temper our excitement a little bit. The report clearly states that talks with Keaton are in the very early stages, and the article literally says, "It is far from a sure thing and can go either way. No details are currently available about how big or small Keaton's role is." Let's also keep in mind that this Flash movie was supposed to come out over 2 years ago. It's had a revolving door of writers and directors and has been in development hell for quite some time. So Keaton or not, the movie itself may still never happen. With all that said, let's talk about what the report is actually saying. Well, it's not saying, it's a report, it's reading, you know what I mean. While Warner Brothers have declined to comment, the Wrap's sources are telling them that Keaton would don the cape and cowl for the Ezra Miller-led Flash standalone film currently being directed by Helmer Andy Muschietti, and the story would involve Barry Allen traveling back in time to save his mother's life, and in doing so he'll create a new universe, potentially opening up the DC multiverse concept in the films, where Michael Keaton's Batman, yes, the actual Batman from the Burton movies, is still operating in some capacity now in his presumably 60s. Further, Deadline has now confirmed that Keaton is in fact in talks for the role, and their sources suggest that his iteration of the Dark Knight could pop up in a number of movies, possibly including a Batgirl flick, in a potential sort of mentor role similar to Sam Jackson's Nick Fury in the MCU. I have also seen speculation that it could be a Batman Beyond situation, which sees the young Terry McGinnis don the cowl under the tutelage of an elderly Wayne. That said, thus far, that seems to be pure speculation, as none of the major trades have published anything about that. I'm gonna be honest here. I love the idea of Michael Keaton, answering the call and coming back as Batman. I have always loved his iteration of the character, and the idea of him playing not just a Batman, but the same Batman he did in '89 and Returns, well, that's just really tantalizing. Admittedly, though, there is a part of me that worries that it could come across as a gimmick, and honestly, if the only options were gimmick casting or it doesn't happen, I'm going doesn't happen all the way. I would rather not see Keaton back than, look everybody, Michael Keaton's back. Wasn't that fun? Now on with the movie. But, and again, this is assuming that not only does the movie actually get made, but that Michael Keaton does actually sign on. If there is in fact a dramatic narrative purpose for this movie, not just to have Batman, but Michael Keaton's Batman, I'm all in on that. Not to mention, Keaton loves that he was Batman.
No, I'm Batman. What the are you talking about?
So yeah, Hollywood, make this happen. So those are my thoughts on this news of Michael Keaton potentially coming back as Batman. Now, I want to know, what do you think about this story? Do you want to see Keaton come back? Is Keaton your favorite Batman of all time? Whatever your thoughts, hit the comments below. Let's discuss. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and give it a share if you really enjoyed it. And hey, why not take a second, do me a favor, click subscribe and ring that bell to subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews, entertainment news, trailer reactions, all that good stuff. Hope you guys are all safe and healthy. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.